Yep, I'm here, Mel. I just got a notice. YouTube's been cutting me off. They say there's an audio or a video copyright infringement or a complaint about my YouTube channel. So I'm going to have to contact YouTube and find out what the heck is going on. Oh, you're probably doing okay. It's just my YouTube is messing up because I don't have any music playing in the background, and I'm not showing anyone else's videos. Oh, now you know that could be. But you know what's behind me? BB guns. Okay, that's a pellet rifle for shooting at squirrels, and that's a Daisy BB gun, antique, and that's the only two that's back there. Is those two. See, that's where people, you know, they don't ask questions. They just jump to conclusions. I mean, if I had any real guns, they're locked up in a cabinet. I hate guns. I can't stand guns. Just to show you how much I hate them, I'm going to take them out of the gun rack. Let's see. Well, if I can figure, there we go. That's how it comes out. And you know, Mel, the ironic thing about this is um, they show shooting machine guns on YouTube, and look, this is what they call a brick barrel. Okay, this is a pellet rifle. It's not a real gun. Well, it's a real gun, but it's a pellet rifle. And then this one right here, this one is an antique. This is a Daisy. Let me see if I can. Yeah, right here on this side. That is a Daisy. Right there, Daisy BB gun. Oh, wow, you got a Daisy. Yeah, I got a Daisy. And that is an old one, too. Yeah, Tom, YouTube keeps shutting me off, and my daughter just told me that maybe it's because of what was behind me in my GUN rack. So, showing her that they were just BB guns, a pellet rifle for squirrels and a BB gun that I bought at a yard sale. It's a Daisy, one of the original Daisies. So we'll try it with those laying on the floor for a while. And if I don't get knocked offline, we'll know that's what it was. And if I do get knocked offline, what I'll do next time is I'll get my 50 caliber rifle and I'll show that. I mean, guys, they show shooting channels on YouTube, guys shooting machine guns. I mean, the electric machine gun, what is it called? The Gatling gun. I don't remember what it's called. 6,000 rounds per minute. They shoot that, and I'm not even shooting anything. And I don't talk about shooting anything, but maybe I will now. No, I know YouTube watches me because every time I log onto YouTube, within 28 seconds, I have one subscriber, but nobody's ever there. And what it is, it's their censoring algorithms that are looking to see what the channel's all about. They pick out certain words, certain phrases, and then they kick you offline. So we'll try it for a while. Oh, this right here, this is a camera tripod, in case anybody was wondering. You know, it's not a howitzer or a anti-tank gun or anything like that. That's a tripod for a camera, and that's a radio antenna for my scanner. Let's see, what else could they be complaining about? Maybe they just don't like shotgun red. It's the same rifle. It is. It's the same BB gun. And I'll tell you, it's somebody had it for a long time, and they had it sitting in a closet or a corner someplace for a long time. I don't know if you can see it, but that stock is bent. It's a plastic stock, and it's bent right here. Right here. It looks like somebody had it in the closet and threw a bunch of stuff on top of it or something. But hey, you know, it's a daisy, and it still shoots pretty good too. You know, that's for target practicing and that kind of stuff. But anyway, we're doing good so far. I've been on 8 minutes already, and they haven't kicked me off yet. And Mel, do you know what a Connie bear trap is? A Ruger BB gun replica. Cool. I've never seen one of those, I don't believe. Well, it's a Connie bear trap. Next time you come over, go in my greenhouse and look on the table. You'll see what it is. And once you see it, you'll probably have seen them before. It's got a great big spring on it. You got to crush that spring. I can't do it with two hands. Yes, it was named after an Indian in Canada, Connie bear. They'll definitely work for a skunk. That's what they're made for, you know, small animals like that. And find out what skunks like to eat the most and put that in your trap. Or use that to set your trap up, you know, to lure it in. You know, it's funny. Eyesight goes viral. People's eyes are offended, and I'm offended at your offense, whoever it was that complained to YouTube about my background here. Try red pepper. Put red pepper around. You know, go buy a bottle of the red pepper for a spice rack, unscrew the top, and just go around and sprinkle it around in your yard, around your house kind of thing. And any place else where you notice they come all the time, and see if it don't keep them away. I know it'll keep rabbits away sometimes. Cayenne pepper, that's it. But I'll tell you how people are offended. They used to have these electronic cigarettes when they first came out. They looked like a real cigarette. You go in a restaurant, and when you puff on it, there's a little light in the end. It would light up red like your cigarette was burning. And I've been in restaurants and pulled the thing out and puffed on it a few times, and it was it put out a vapor just like smoke, Yeah, yes, they did. They flagged me for it, and that's why YouTube's been shutting me off, evidently, because I got a red warning line across the top of my screen this time that said I had an audio violation, video violation, copyright wise, or a complaint about my channel. And I think that's the only complaints anybody could make is what was sitting in the background over here. But, or maybe it's because I'm smoking. But back to the smoking story. I'd sit there and I'd puff on this electronic cigarette, and people would go to the restaurant owner and say, "Hey, the guy's smoking over here, and you're not supposed to smoke in any restaurants around here." Well, any business is really. And they'd come out and ask me to put my cigarette out. What would I do? I'd take my pocket and hold it out like this and drop that thing in my pocket. And people would look at me like, he's crazy. He's going to burn his shirt up. I don't, this is anything that you say in church, you can say here. Okay. We don't get into politics. We don't really get into the discussion of religion. So that's about the only thing it could be. Either I'm smoking or they saw my BB guns and complained. So, or maybe they complained because I called my dog a goat on my video today. Smeller or no smeller. I know that's what I mentioned earlier, where they had that the newest electronic machine gun, that shoots 6,000 rounds a minute, and they show them cutting down trees with it and totally destroying a car with it and stuff like this. You get some people that they see something and it just flips them out, I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh when I worked for the phone company. Listen to him every day at lunchtime. Well, I don't know. They don't like me talking about moringa trees because they probably work in the pharmacy industry, and they know that moringa trees, they can't patent them, so they don't want to mess with them. They don't want anybody else to mess with them either. And when the pharmaceutical companies found out that you can just buy the seeds and grow it in your backyard, they really got upset about that. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I cut a guy's leg off one time, but I'm not a doctor. That's a different chainsaw story. But I'm not a lawyer. Uh, and I don't know any goods either. Every lawyers I've ever hired have been crooks. Yeah, I tried to hire a crooked lawyer to work for me one time up in New York. And he was crooked, but he refused to do what I asked him to do. You know, I didn't ask him to do anything illegal. And, you know, it's funny. I went with a guy one time that was interviewing lawyers. He'd go in and he'd say, okay, I've got this collection agency, and here's what I want to do. I want you to be my company lawyer. And if I send the client's name to you, I want you to sue them. You don't send them letters because we've already done that. And you don't call them on the phone. You just go to court, sue them. And we went through about 3 lawyers before one of them finally said yes. So that ended up being our lawyer. But what the heck? If you're not crooked, you end up on the bottom of the pile in this world. I can see that right now. I mean, there's a couple jobs I've quit because I didn't like the dishonesty in the company, you know, like AT&T and Combined Insurance Company of New York. When I found out what the real ripoff was, I left those companies. But the only thing is, when I left the phone company, I took all kinds of benefits with me. I waited long enough to get my retirement. Bottom of the totem pole, that's right. You know, they say nice guys finish last. So that tells me that the people that win aren't nice people. You know, the guy that wins the Iditarod race, he ain't a nice person because he came in first. Yep, it definitely is true. I mean, you know, there's so much crime and corruption in this world. Yeah, I knew a guy that was a gold miner, and he got divorced. His wife got the house, the property, and the cars and the airplane, and he got the shaft. But anyway, this program or this video isn't about all that creepy, crazy junk that people do. We're kind of like into nutrition and growing your own nutrition. I guess you could call it that. I don't know if you'd call it growing nutrition, but the moringa tree and its vegetable, which is, I'll show you the vegetable. The moringa tree is actually considered a vegetable, and I'll show you why. This right here, this cotton picking shotgun red sitting behind me here is about to drive me up a wall. Let me get him out of the way. Come on, Red, get out of there. Yeah, there he goes. This is old Shotgun Red. Oh, that might be where the violation is. My buddy Shotgun Red. Yeah. Autographed by Steven. Yeah, it does look like a sword, doesn't it? Let me back up here so you can see the whole thing. But that's the whole thing. And it's triangular shaped. If you can see, there's a flat side here. There's a flat side here. And then there's a flat side here. It's a 3-sided pod. And it comes out, it grows out of the center of the flower, the moringa tree flower. They grow right out of the center of it. And when these are fresh on the tree, um, that's right, God's healing tree. Um, in fact, I've got a list of the names of what moringa is called in many different countries around the world. It's called the moringa tree, horseradish tree, the tree of life, lamu, just all over the world, just different names for it. Here's the Chinese lamu. Yep, if you look, it says La Mu. And down here, it's Latmok or Latmok. But it's got all the different names from around the world. And it's neat. But you can take these pods when they're fresh, picked off the tree, and they're still green. You take and you cut them into little pieces, and you put them in soups. You put them in salads. You cook it up just like you would string beans, kind of things. Now, inside this pod, if you look right here, you can see where the pod is opened up here on this side, because this pod is dried out. It's a very mature pod, and what happens is the seam, the side of the pod was split open while it's hanging upside down from the tree, and then all of the seeds fall out, and the seeds have little paper wings on them. I wish I had one here that I could show you, but they have little paper wings on them, and when they come out, they glide through the air off away from the mother tree to repropagate the tree. And but this is the actual vegetable that is on the tree. Very edible. Everything about this tree can be eaten. Everything from the top of the tree, including the flowers and the pods, all the way down to the roots can be eaten. And each particular thing has different nutritions in it. The moringa tree has been labeled the most nutritious plant in the world ever. Yes, it is mentioned in the Bible. The people in India have been using this tree for over 7,000 years to cure diseases. And if you do a search on Google for moringa research papers, it will come up with hundreds of thousands of research papers from scientists, biologists, the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins University, Clemson University, Harvard, Duke Medical Center, the cancer centers down in Atlanta, Georgia. All these places have tested these plants, and they cannot figure out how these plants can do what they're doing. God knows how. I mean, it's taking minerals from the soil, bringing it up into the tree, and converting it to healthy, nutritious food. Now, I've got a cup right here. I have a cup of moringa tea. Now, let me move my camera and I'll show you this. I'll put it under the light and you can see what it looks like. If I can find the cup, there we are. There's the cup. Oh no, there's stuff floating in my soup, Mommy. No, that's the moringa powder. okay, and makes a very delicious um, tea. And you put a little bit of honey in it as a sweetener. And, it's not completely water soluble, so you'll see it floating on top. Hey, I'm glad it floats on top. That gives me raw moringa when I drink my tea. And the raw moringa is very good for you. But it's not like any other tea you've ever tasted. It's really good. Okay, let me look back here. Um, you threw it in the water, and the water became fit to drink. Bingo! I have right here one moringa seed. Okay, this is the seed after it's been taken out of the little shell that has the paper wings on it. They take and they crush these seeds because it has ben oil, BENOIL, ben oil inside of it. Okay, they get the oil from these trees, or after they've gotten the oil out of the seed cake, they take that seed cake and put it in polluted water, and it purifies the water. Yes, it will help with inflammation, Tom. Um, I had arthritis here back a few years ago, and I could just barely get out of bed in the morning. Now, you see that one person in the live chat there, Melanie Davis. Well, that's my